eno mu palamenti bitabuse anti ababaka kakiiko Kedembe Ly'Obuntu bawuniikiridde baadde bakunya ekitongole ky'amagye, ekitongole kya poliisi, ekitongole ky'ebyokwerinda naddala minisita avunaanyizibwa ku byokwerinda omukulu Ssempijja nga bamukunya era ng'asaba okwongezebwa ssente mbu mu budget ssente zalina tezimumala naye nga waliwo bannayuganda bangi abatulugunyizibwa, abawambibwa, abattibwa, abasibiddwa mu nkomyo abatali musango na gumu. Bamubuuza lwaki abo basibwa batalina musango kitemubata kubanga musaba ssente z'okubalabirira ate nga tebalina misango. Ng'agamba bakyetaaga ssente nnyo basobole okulabirira Olivia Lutaaya, bannaffe bamacete abali mu nkumi abawagizi ba National Platform abasibwa batali musango mbu bakyanoonyereza kye banaabateekako oba obujulizi obubaluma naye tebabulaba ate balina okubalabirira era nga bagaana ssente ez'okugula Duloni empya Duloni ezinaawamba abantu kati nno wano bitabukiddemu ng'owulira budget gye basaba nnene enzibu naye ng'obuuza egenda kukola ki kuwamba baana ba National Platform okusiba abantu batalina musango kutulugunya bannayuganda batali musango n'okusasula abatulugunya n'okugula zi Duloni eziwamba abantu kuba byonna bye boogera nti no ssente zino zigenda kukola kino na kino tewali kyezikola sikandi nno bongeza abasirikale musaala oba nti abasirikale basula bulungi wabula bo bazikolamu byabwe bo okuzeegabanya bo n'okuwamba abana National Platform kati no wano olutalo oluteerewe lutuukidde ku nnyoge asaa tugende tubifune naawe byowulirireko nga mukulu Ssempijja asaba okumwongeza ensimbi naye obuuza zaaki zagula Duloni kuwamba abaana kusiba abatalina musango kale n'otunuulira kale katubawulire.
The committee recommends that the Ministry of Defense, Veteran Affairs should tap into indigenous knowledge for homegrown solutions to Karamojongo's problems instead of continuously deploying work methods that are external to the region, which have proved to be ineffective for the last 20 years. Yeah, we have done that, and we refer you to the paragraph on disarmament. The APDF should significantly budget for payment of compensation awards in line with the decentralization of payment of court and the tribunal awards policy. This will ensure that the compensation orders are progressively paid and the accumulation of arrears will be minimized. Honorable Chair, here also Ministry of Defense and Veterans Affairs has a fully-fledged and active compensation committee responsible for payment of court compensations. This committee, sir, has been commended by the Uganda Human Rights Commission as the most active. However, sir and honorable members, help us when it comes to budget, because the budget allocation Commission and the other stakeholders to pay compensation decrease in accordance with our budget limits. It's only that the budget is always not enough. Considering our strong attachment to the Wananchi, the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs Compensation Committee has been considering and recommending payment even on ex gratia basis in order to preserve our strategic relationship with the people. There are also cases settled out of court at our insistence. Conclusion, sir and honorable members, the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs is committed to ensuring that its officers and militants strictly adhere to the observance, protection and the respect of human rights in executing our constitutional mandate. In the same vein, sir, I appeal to members of the public, including our senior leaders, to reciprocate the discipline exhibited by the UPDF. I thank you, sir, for God. and my country.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for an elaborate presentation. While you were making your presentation, we were joined by the Honorable Deputy Chairperson of this committee, the Honorable Jennifer Mbabazi Chomhendo, woman MP Kagadi, and two other colleagues, Chankwanzi and Terego. So, starting with the Deputy Chairperson, honorable colleagues, please introduce yourselves.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, Honorable Minister and members. My name is Mbabazi Jennifer Chomhendo. I'm the woman member of Parliament for Kagadi District, and I deputize the chair on this committee.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Senator Christine Bukenya, woman MP Chankwan's District, and I'm a new member on this committee.
Thank you so much, Chair. I guess I'm Rose Obiga, the woman member of Parliament representing Terego District, incidentally the most rural MP. And Chair, I know this is not part of it. These people knocked my car and they have not compensated.
You.
Honorable colleagues, any questions, comments, observations? Yes, Polycarp.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I would like the way the minister has made his presentation, and I have enjoyed it so much. And I also thank the UPDF for the actually good work done. And also, Chair, I can really mention this. The UPDF is nowadays, on my own observation, more disciplined than before. So I thank the minister for that. And officers. Minister, Chair, used a very nice word, and that is a professional word in the army, by saying that they use reasonable force to get people, which is actually true. But I can say that in the military, what I know is if you don't cooperate, the reasonable force goes off, and then they use a maximum force. So also the cooperation matters to make sure that they do their good job. But on the other hand, Minister, this is the fact. I know there's defending, and there's also talking the truth. There are vehicles that are actually being used by the army without number plates. And personally, I have also observed that. Your number plates are very clear always on the vehicles, and there are some vehicles that don't bear it. Probably you have not come across, but if you go slowly, you will get it. There are vehicles without number plates. And some vehicles used by the military, they tend to cover number plates, or either when they're on duty, either that's part of the profession, when you're on duty and yes, certain mission, you cover the number plates, but that happens. The deployment, I comment on the deployment of the army to police in this way. I may need more clarification on that. I don't know, in my own understanding, I think the training of the military goes beyond the police in a certain case. So I don't know whether the training itself matches with the one of police these days. Yes, it's all security. And police is to keep law and order. Finished, end there, no more. But the military goes beyond, military training goes beyond that. So how it is harmonized with the police, maybe we can be a little bit clarified on that one. When you go to Karamoja, the issue with the Karamoja, it's a little bit, I can say it's a continuous process. We can't conclude by saying that you have disarmed and they don't have guns. They have guns. And where they source their guns from, they know it by themselves. But only that what I can know, they're a little bit disciplined than before. Because before it was harassment, totally. Because of the disarmament that you carried on there, I think they're a little bit disciplined now with their guns. And I would actually encourage so much that the operation continues as they get and you remove. But also, this element of the Pokot gives these people always to source the guns. I don't know how best you are going to work on that to make sure that these guys don't cross over to attack them. Because when they are attacked, they get angered. They also come and attack us and take the cows out of the anger with the little guns that they still have. So that issue of those guys crossing over them, Minister, I request that you look into it. Finally, this is what is on the ground. And this is what I personally always ask myself, how the security operates. There are other people whom we think should not have guns, but they have guns. For example, when you go to Teso now, the swamps of Teso, certain areas, we have this Vararo. I don't think whether when you're looking after cows, you need guns. They are armed. I don't know whether you call them what? No, I don't know whether you call them Vararo. These ones who keep animals, cattle. How do you call them? Cattle keepers. They actually have guns. They are armed. I don't know whether they call them Vararo or what.
Order.
Huh?
Order.
Yes, order.
Yes, Honorable Chair, is it in order for my colleague to call the fellow citizens that they are Balaro, because I know they have an identity from that?
Yeah, but that's the common name we know.
I think that's the name that I also know.
Order Rose and company.
So, looking into it, Minister.
No, Honorable Rose, you're not going to have a debate without speaking through the chair.
So, Minister.
Honorable Udwari.
I conclude now, Chair. I'm concluding, Chair. Mm-hmm. So, Minister.
Call them cattle keepers.
Okay. The cattle keepers who are in Teso land, they are armed. And that's why I stretch the point by saying that I really don't think whether you're a cattle keeper, you need guns. You need to be armed. Even us in Teso, we have got animals. And now we're asking ourselves, these people are here with and armed. What's the question about it? I don't know whether the cattle are for UPDF or they are for the government. And this scares the community totally by saying that why are they armed? And for us, we are looking after our cattle without guns. So, Honorable Minister, I request that also to be clarified. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Baka, let's first permit Honorable Charity Bainababo to introduce herself, and then you will make your comments.
Thank you, Chair. I am Brigadier General Charity Bainababo, one of the representatives of UPDF to the 11th Parliament. Welcome, our guests.
First of all, I wish to thank the Minister and the delegation for the responses, which in my view are precise and yet very comprehensive. They give hope that the PDF is on course for a very disciplined force. And if this is the trajectory, it gives us hope as citizens and as leaders. Secondly, Chair, is to also again thank the EPDF for the work they have done over the years on their human rights record. We all know, Chair, how far we have come with the EPDF. But if you go through this report, not only this report, but just out there, there is some relatively good record. Actually, the Minister said that in some instances, people prefer to see the EPDF in operation. That's true. It's a reality. So I wish to thank the EPDF for that and encourage them to work harder even to ensure that we have a force resembling what we see in other countries when we travel out. But we are there. I'm sure we are getting there very soon. Now, the problem which I've noticed over the years, everything is okay until we have elections. During the normal times, other than elections, the EPTF is on course. Now, the problem is elections, and that's why I want to engage the leadership here on what exactly happens during elections. Other than the national good, which we all know that the EPDF must be involved in helping to ensure that elections are conducted in a peaceful atmosphere. We all know that some candidates, other than the national good, some candidates have self-interest. And I don't know how they get the deployments, but we know that some candidates get UPDF deployments in their constituencies. And in most cases, these deployments are not for the common good. They come either to perpetrate violence and cause a situation where there is what we all know what happens. And through that violence, a lot of human rights abuses take place. So I wanted to ask the Minister whether it is completely difficult to avoid such situations where candidates, small candidates, I'm talking of the national interest, I would understand. But small candidates, even councillors, you find a councillor down there, he has about 10 UPDF terrorizing the entire parish. What happens? And they are normally locally, I don't know whether to use the word procured, from those local units. And they are causing mayhem. If you look at all the complaints, especially from the opposition, they arise from elections. They arise from elections. Other than that, the EPDF over the years has improved tremendously on their record, including during war. You don't hear a lot of abuses during war. When there is a war, for example, in the Congo, you hear UPDF is observing standard operating procedures. International humanitarian law is being observed to the dot. Problem is those small things which I want you, Minister, to respond to, whether it is not possible for you to ensure that other than the common good, the national good, we avoid candidates that abuse the men and women in uniform for their self-interest.
Honorable Baka, don't you think it will help them if you cite a few examples?
Chair, you seem to suggest that these are isolated cases. In elections, this is a common thing. I don't have to quote any. Myself to any particular incident, other than what we all know that election times, some constituents are hotspots, and there are abuses here and there. So probably I would require a general answer without being specific.
You have information from
thank you.
Ruchiga.
Thank you so much, Honorable Baka, for giving me the opportunity. You said normally problems come when it's the time for elections. And I think then you said it's normally to opposition side. I just wanted to give you the information. It's not only opposition. We all face same challenges. For example, I wanted some clarification from the minister. Normally, UPDF brings some medical camps in different districts where you find they are not even involving members of parliament of that area, not even chairman LOC5. Someone with interest of standing is leading the program without informing members of parliament. So sincerely speaking, Honorable Baka, I don't want you to look at it on the side of opposition. It's common. And Honorable Minister, non-partisan, I'm surprised how sometimes UPDF can be involved in such. How can you fail to involve the members of parliament from that area? You find one with interest of standing is the one taking lead in everything. That's the information I wanted to give you, though I have some other issues. Honorable Chair, why are you forcing us to go into details?
Chair, let's have a general response. We are not going to go into specifics. We are general. We could have a general response. But just to qualify my submission further, as a result of the information I've received, it's true. This is not localized to only opposition. It's even worse in our NRM primaries. Yes. So it's a general problem. It has nothing to do with opposition or what. Just take some candidates who take self-interest and then they use the...
Thank you, Chair, for giving me the opportunity. Chair, I also want to join my colleagues to thank the UPDF and the Minister for the presentation. Chair, I want to thank the UPDF for the great work that they are doing, especially in northern Uganda, in the disarmament process. Chair, I live in Agago, and I know what we normally go through as a result of the cattle raids. And I am actually very grateful for the work the UPDF are doing. For now, the rates are gone down drastically because of the great work the UPDF are doing. And then two, I think also because of the changes of commands in the area, 3rd Division and 5th Division. This has improved a lot, and it has helped the local people now concentrate on the parish development model as I compare to earlier before, where it was difficult. The rights of the people were being violated completely. People were not able to go to the farm, they were not able to dig. Some of the members were also displaced from the community. So I want to commend them for the great work they are doing in Karamoja. However, I think we still have a number of things that need to be sorted. One is, I think the government need to look toward signing an agreement with the government of Sudan to bridge the border. We still have the infiltrations of, wrong elements coming with guns from the other side. The cattle raiders go and buy a gun from the other side, and then they come and use it to disturb the people. So as government has signed memorandum of understanding with Kenya, I still also urge that let them, move a step ahead also to sign the memorandum of understanding with the people from Southern Sudan, the government. I think that will help a lot in bridging the gaps. Chair, I also noticed that there was one day I participated, I think, with the security, when security impounded some of the cattle that were raided by the cattle raiders. And when I went to the jungles with the community leaders, we took some of the community members to go and identify their cattle. I was very shocked and surprised in the jungle that I found almost over 100 young kids from the Karamoja, young kids in the jungle. And they are being trained by the elders on the use of guns and then how they are supposed to do the raiding. So many of them And we had meetings actually in the jungle there. We were also asking the UPDF, what are you going to do with these children here? I think the government need to find a way of coming up with a program. If they find these young children in the jungle, they must be taken back to the villages. So I don't know, under the UPDF's arrangements, what program do you have when you are doing an operations and you found out that such kind of children are in the jungle? What do you normally do? If you can elaborate on that, I think that would be very useful. And then, Chair, apart from that, I also want to, of recently there has been a lot of increased infiltrations of, wrong element killing people from that side of Amoro, Ajumani, the other area of Apa. The rates of killing has gone high. It has really increased terribly. People are not able to go to the garden. People are not able to go to, children are not going to school. There's a lot of issues there. And I am also wondering, and yet we have a full combatants of the UPDF there. And I was also told that, these people lay ambush to attack the civilian, abduct the civilian, go and do serious, brutal killing. And last week was really terrible. This is Apa, that side of Apa. Last week it was really terrible. We had a security meeting in Gulu with the team, and there was a team from Amoro that came, and they were expressing real serious grievances. People are not sleeping in their houses because these people could come, bomb houses, abduct people on the road, kill them with pangas and all that. And we have the full security there. So I need the UPDF, I think you need to take keen interest in that. Because civilians were also giving reports. Wherever they give information to the police on the ground, and then the UPDF, the response is very slow. And sometimes they even see these people running in the jungle, and they inform the security, the response also is very slow. And so community are wondering what is happening, really, what is going on. UPDF have fought so many battles. These issues is very, very simple. That's the government are able to handle it. So I think there's a greater need for security to take on that, monitor the situation, and then launch an operations. I happened to listen to not a video, but a recording of someone calling the wife of the area and telling the wife, you need to depart from the area because we are coming to invade the place. I listened to the message, and I think the message was handled to the security in Gulu for them to be able to follow up. So it seemed to be it is something which is being planned. So I need the UPDF and the government interest themselves in that and follow up the issue and see how best the community of the area, the both community can be assisted. And then recently, I think there was a video circulating on social media, that part of Bonyoro. There was one LC1 that was being flopped seriously by the local people. And I think it was on the order of General Taban Amin that the LC1 actually trespassed in one of the land of the investor that was near his place. And community were really terribly beating the man on the order of the general. So I was also wondering whether you're aware of that and perhaps what action maybe has been taken. Finally, Chair, I also want to commend the UPDF for the recent repatriation of the LRA combatants from Central Republic of Africa. I think this has been a very good big landmark. The chairman, LC1, yeah.
To supplement on that particular point, Chair, this video is on our Presidential Affairs Committee platform. Very embarrassing. Flogging this man for 8 hours, honestly, over his land. Flogging, it's inhuman and degrading treatment. And I know, General, you are there with us on that platform. Actually, I thought of sending it to you, then I remembered, oh, we are together in this. So it's the only annoying thing. Not only that, the people of that place are complaining that the man, Geno, is taking all their land. He just comes in the morning, surrounds all of you, chases you away. He has become impossible. Let him come back to us in West Nile, other than killing the people of Chiriadongo.
Thank you. Yeah, Chair, thank you for the information. So, Chair, perhaps later on you'll be able to see the video. So I wanted to commend the UPDF for the great work they have done, repatriations of the ex-combatants. And this has been a very big achievement, and we are really very, very happy for that. The people of Northern Uganda are very happy for the work that you're doing. Finally, Chair, I also witnessed, as a committee, we also need to support the UPDF, especially in the area of Karamoja, Lango, Achuli, Teshu, and all that. You know, the UPDF are trying their best to bring peace and restore peace and security in the area, but they also have challenges. The challenges there is the issue of security road, which has been for a very long time a song. Sometimes infiltration in the jungle is not easy to combat these raiders. And they need to plan, they need to lay the ambush, they need to see how best they can, rescue some of those cattle. So the issue of security road is a big challenge that the committee should also interest themselves and see how best we can support the UPDF in that. If security road is open from Teshu, that side, to Orom, I think we will be at par. Peace will be restored in the area, and people will get back into commercial business, and farming, and the rest, and their right will be restored. I thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chair. And I would also like to appreciate the Minister for his report. I will start with, I had a complaint, a concern from people living with disabilities. So before I came here, they asked me actually to bring their issue to the attention of UPDF. They mentioned to me in the Constitution, Article 32, which talks of affirmative. They also talked of gender and people with disabilities. They also talked of Article 35 of the Constitution, where they should not be discriminated. That when you are recruiting, you always put a condition, physically fit. For them, they are not physically fit, and yet you are denying them a right to earn some money, to earn a living, or to get employment. Back to this document, I also want to concur with my honorable colleague about these numberless drones. It's true, those drones are still moving, especially when they are going to arrest people. And I think that is what causes people even to fail to trace. I wanted to ask the minister, if you arrest someone, why do they keep someone for some time or weeks when these people cannot trace him? And if it had like a number plate, someone can get where to start from. So I think that one, we should look into it. Then there was a...
Honorable Arinatwe, there's a point of clarification from Honorable Charity. Yeah.
Thank you, Chair. Whereas we want to observe the rights of everyone to employment, the work that the military does may also be, if we recruited the people with disabilities, it would actually be one of the ways of abusing their rights. Because a person with disabilities cannot go to war or any of the physical work that the military does. So I think that we could employ them elsewhere apart from the military, because those disabilities may not enable them to do the work that the military does. Chair, I wish to also clarify something that Honorable Kamsime stated. Well, another Honorable talked about the UPDF being cruel sometimes, but she brought up an issue of medical camps. When the UPDF goes out to do medical camps, the people they treat, when you say it is we are being partisan because they deal with the people, the people who intend to contest, they are not being partisan because the people they treat are Ugandans generally. I think that honorable colleagues would approach the UPDF and tell them that please involve us when you're doing these medical camps. But saying that UPDF is partisan when they go to do medical camps because they have not involved the area MP, I don't think that clearly makes them partisan. It may be lack of communication, but it's not being partisan in my view. Thank you, Chair.
Please do. Let's start with the Deputy Chair.
Honorable Chair, before we leave the point of disability,
you still have the floor, Honorable Arine.
I want to disagree with Afande here. That unless we get the exact disability, I don't know what kind you are talking of disability, whether physical or anything on the body, because I have cases where somebody, actually not one, was qualifying for everything they wanted, but didn't have the whole set of the teeth in the mouth. He was missing one tooth. So I don't know that is also a disability we need to understand. Thank you.
Further clarification, Honorable Chair. That is one of the parameters that we look at during recruitment, and it is an international measure. Take an example of a commander without teeth standing before troops. They will just laugh away. So, okay, on a lighter note, but yes, but it's one of the parameters that we follow as a disability. So if you look at that as not being a disability, just look at all the parameters that we follow. Thank you, Chair.
The answer is it is an international practice.
Chair,
and there are many reasons for one. There are many reasons why somebody with one eye, with some fingers not there, teeth not there.
Yeah.
Yes, teeth. We use teeth to fight. You have to.
Chair. You remember, Honorable Baka, let's listen to Kamsime, then we come to you before we go back to Arina Itwe.
Chair, thank you so much. On the same point of disabilities, then yes, if it's what they consider, we respect it and we appreciate. But remember, when these people are registering and so on, they go through a lot of things. LOC1, what, then transport, they do not have money. Sensitize our people exactly what they are supposed to do. Instead of wasting their time, sometimes they even run from their district to other districts, which is really an inconvenience. So you need to come out clearly and tell us exactly what one is supposed to be having. Then, on the same point of elections and so on, I think I need to talk like Muchiga here, Afande Charity. If you're talking about involving other people, sincerely speaking, we appreciate the work you're doing, but this is someone who intends to stand. She's never in the village. Then she comes leading the delegation of UPDF. How do you explain that? If you can look for someone who is never in the village, she's employed, she's doing her work, but time of having such camps, she's in lead. How do you explain that? And you can't fail to inform a member of parliament, sitting member of parliament, and NRM at the same time. By the way, why I brought in this issue, I really wanted to inform Honorable Baka. It is not opposition. Let's not always talk about opposition as if there is a big problem or what. It's a common thing. And instead of defending and so on, look into it and get a solution. Thank you.
How do we know intentions of someone who wants to?
Honorable Charity, it is...
Yes, Honorable...
Further clarification on that matter.
Chair. No, we shall have an in-house debate on
Chair.
these emotive issues.
Chair, on the issue of the tooth, the missing teeth. During the colonial times, we used to know that for one to enter the armed forces, they had to be tall, with a wide chest. And when the UPDF came, exactly. And when the UPDF came, they changed that narrative. We started seeing short people entering the forces, and the president justified. He said, "Can a short man aim at an enemy and shoot?" And the answer is yes. So that's when we started seeing the short people being recruited. And as you know, the CDF now, if it was not for that policy, the CDF probably would not have joined because it's from Kasese, and Kasese. now, Chair, the issue now of the disabilities, I think the EPDF needs to publish a book on the nature of disability and how it affects the personnel in the armed forces. For example, I'm imagining how one tooth somewhere behind, how it affects the effectiveness of personnel in the EPDF. It would serve us well because we get those challenges. After every recruitment, people come crying. I was rejected because of a ringworm somewhere. I was rejected because of you publish.
Still on disability, don't you think we have really covered this? Disability is a very emotive issue. Honorable, I will give you time to make substantive comments. Let's deal with Laubin, and then we move.
Thank you, Chair.
You will have the opportunity to ask supplementary questions.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair.
We'll come to you.
On UPDF involvement in elections. On thank you, Chair. I'm on number 7 of the paper which the Minister presented. On UPDF involvement in general elections, I also support that they will actually be tried in criminal court rather than disciplinary. One, you remember, even voting polling stations were moved from the barracks. They are always outside. That was for that reason. And we were talking that it's not only the opposition. I, for one, I was a victim in the last elections, but good enough, I won the election. And you know, when you won an election, whatever happens, you leave it, you forget and leave it behind. So I was also a victim by UPDF. Then number 8, committee recommended that government limits deployment of army to doing police work. I actually support it. If now you go and see the whole police force setup now, it's actually UPDF. So I think, I know it might be beyond the powers of the minister, but I think it's a concern that because number 1, number 2, number 3 in the police now, I think it is the UPDF, even heads of the department. So I think should be looked at. Lastly, I want to appreciate the work UPDF you are doing, because now, if you see where we come from and where we are now, at least you are doing a good work. I'm even happy I have my OB, Major General Masco, we are together in HSC, but now I appreciate you are doing a good work. Thanks.
We have a member who has just joined us. Please introduce yourself as you look for where to sit.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. My name is Ekudo Tom Julius, Member of Parliament, Gweri County in Soroti District under FDC.
The last part was not necessary. Tom Ekudo, Gweri. Yes. Because you are going to attract questions. Which FDC? Katonga, Najalankumbi, Nakulabi. No problem. Yeah. Honorable Kansime, the floor is yours. Then we go down to Chankwanzi.
Thank you so much, Chair. I just wanted to comment on number 5. But before that, allow me to appreciate UPDF for the work you're doing. Definitely it cannot be 100%, but you've done good and we appreciate. I wanted to know on the issue of involving journalists. And I've seen in your response, Honorable Minister, you said you inform them. I just wanted to know what kind of communication do you use? And do you involve all media houses? What's the criteria? That's one issue I wanted to know. Then the other issue I wanted to talk about is on number 5. Especially some districts on borders. Number 5, UPDF operation should create, especially some districts on borders where we have detached and so on. How often do you change those soldiers? Why am I asking? They overstay, end up starting businesses, you find they are colliding with local people. You understand what I'm talking about. So how often do you change them? I have a suggestion or a request. At least if you can always change them, not to overstay in an area. It doesn't really help us at the end of it. All they mingle with local people and create more problems, especially in the district. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chair. I also take this opportunity to thank the Minister for the good responses we've received, and even the generals for working hard to see that they save the face of the UPDF so far. Me, I appreciate as an individual, because even in Chankwans, I have 2 barracks. Kayanja barracks, they are my neighbors, but we've never got any bad information from those people. Another thing, Chair, this information that even I'm sure that these UPDF people love the disabled people, because Kayanja is a barracks of the disabled. When they got injuries, they were collected and put in that same thing. So I think they don't just disassociate with them, but because there are some facts why they don't use the disabled. Lastly, in Chankwas, there are some people who say that they have got numbers. They are once your people in UPDF, and they got numbers. They code all numbers. You call them numbers, I think. After when you join, you are given a number. But some are saying that when they left, till now they've never been paid. How do you advise us to guide them? Because when they meet you, they tell you that please help me so that I'm also paid. I hear some other people are compensated for what was done, but some people are not. You know, those people were contributed to the war in Chankwans, so some left when they had numbers. Because what I know, those without numbers, I think they were, I don't know what happened, but with those with numbers, I'm sure they were compensated. And there are some who are in Chankwans who are not compensated. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. I would like to thank the Minister and the officers for your submissions and your work as the UPDF. Honorable Chair, I would like to briefly refer to two, three things. One, we've been speaking about the militarization of politics in this country, especially during elections. And I've been at the receiving end in 2020, 2021, and then recently. The chair was asking for examples, and I'm a very good example of that. I will not delve into the details, but in 2021, on the election day, it was the military truck that transported the voting equipment, returned, back to the tally center with my opponent who had a military background then. In the recent by-election that brought me on board, Right Honorable Chair, we had almost the entire Oyam North turned into a battlefield without any battle, without guns being fired, big guns, military everywhere. It was kind of strange, and I think that probably there's some work to be done in that area. But back to the report, I would like to thank the Minister very much for his report, which is very informative. Being my first time to interact with the ministry. Questions that are quite basic. I don't know whether this is the design for this committee, that the reports come without evidence base, for example, without figures, for example, without examples. It kind of, for me, it would present a problem next time if I want to gauge if we've actually moved from point A to point B. I would like to know if that is possible, maybe in your next reporting, to cite figures.
Honorable Appeal, we had almost a 2.5-year interface with the UPDF. The committee made recommendations to Parliament that were adopted by way of resolution. So this, what we are engaged in now, is a follow-up action. They supplied figures, they supplied names, they supplied every evidence when we needed them.
Okay, I appreciate that.
So we're now only asking them what they have done in respect of the resolutions of Parliament.
Yes, I appreciate that. I will probably track the reports and then get myself acquainted with all of those so that I can be able to catch up and track as well and tell whether we are making progress or not. And then lastly, Honourable Minister, number 5, which speaks to the media sanctuary, the UPDF and UPF creating a media sanctuary for occupation and use by journalists. Again, it borders on the same, Honourable Chair, that is it possible to cite examples, to give figures? I'm still on the same, but I will probably look at the historical records and see, and then probably if I still have questions, I can come back to that. And then lastly, on the disabilities, I was just wondering, this is a question, Honourable Minister, I'm wondering whether all of the available positions in the military are meant to go to the field, to fight, to confront the enemy. Are there departments or desks that can, yes, that I'm speaking for him, you know, persons with disabilities? Are there desks, base positions that can absorb some of our people without discrimination, so that we account for, we cater for persons with disabilities and other categories as well who might not qualify, like myself without a tooth? Thank you very much.
Yes, Chair, on that one, before even we go further, we, you know,
just go right ahead, and then we shall have.
Yeah, there was in war situations, combat situations, create a lot of people with disability. It's better we recruit those without disabilities, because we create even more than so to say the least. Really, it is fair. It is fair. You know, she was mentioning Kayanja, Mubende, where all of these are barracks of people with disability. You can see the pressure, the burden we have. It's better we leave it at that. I think it was seen by the international constructors of the international law. They thought, I think it is better to leave out the other. Let us protect them, but leave the fit ones to be recruited. And even then, after all, we create a lot of them, a lot of people with disabilities. So let's live with it at that one, so that we don't distort. You cannot really bend that one. So what you should be fighting for is the welfare of the disabilities already in our barracks, in our situation. So, and that one we will also answer at the later date.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Obiga, and then Ekudo.
Thank you so much, Chair. In the same vein, want to thank the Minister and the generals who are with us this morning for the high level of discipline in the Army. I really want to agree that the Army we have now is a disciplined Army, because, you see, I can sit here and ask for compensation, and they laugh. This was not the case. I would be flogged for asking for compensation. But even then, these guys had disappeared because we didn't have a camera around Mulago mortuary area there. But when they were traced, they said, yes, we knocked her. We knocked her because they blocked where I could jump from. I jumped through, you can't believe what I did. But because I'm almost like a Mulalu, I was able to jump and maneuver and come out. I don't take offense for that word, by the way. And when they saw, I said, I'm NRM, a member of parliament. If you can beat my brother, what would you do to opposition? I need you more than anybody. And they say, oh, honorable. And they drove away. This is discipline. They would, if it was those days of, they would even flog both of us. So I want to appreciate you for discipline. It's a really highly disciplined army we have. I would even prefer army to police. Without army, for me, I would not have been in parliament. Because Terego stayed for 3 days, they could not declare our results until Brigade 409 drove and said, what's happening? What you are hearing in Koboko was nothing, because I was battling with the minister's wife. So Army said, we need the NRM results. I owe you. But this does not mean that you cannot compensate me. and now I'm requesting for a barracks in Terego. Kindly, I need a barracks in Terego. We have a lot of challenges with Madiokolo. The fact that 2 refugee camps in Terego were named after Rhino camp, which is in Madiokolo. Madiokolo is asking, why did you pick a name of our thing to be named in Terego? We cannot even get this money. Ministries are fearing, they don't want to pay us. Money for Terego is going to Madiokolo. You don't understand what is happening in this government. I was threatening, if need be, to marry somebody near a president. Because I suspect this is because my sister, please, the eyes have it. Nearer, like where Okia is, so that I am able to also help the people of Terego.
I thought you were proposing to marry Charity.
No. We have just passed that law. Charity has a brother. In fact, you are a better option. So because of that, we really need a barracks. You can see the number of police is now very, very few and dwindling. In some of my sub-counties, we have 1 police officer, others we have 2. The highest, we have 3. We don't have motorcycles. I want to say, Honorable Minister, it's an insult. You find a minister with the 3 or 2 lead cars. What are you doing with these cars? It is too much. Who needs you? It is too much. We are abusing. Terego has no security. We don't have vehicles for our police. Now you are in defense. This is all under defense. We need vehicles for police. We need vehicles. Actually, why I want army there, maybe we'll have some of these lead cars in, the ones especially for army in Terego, to see to it that the refugees fight a lot. They fight, and the fighting escalates to the host community. Because when they start fighting, others run this way. They come with the bow and arrow, because, and guns. There are so many refugees who come back in the in the camps with guns. So I beg, let's have something in Terego. The road that we pay for, I live in Entebbe. We pay for that road. If you didn't know, we pay. But you stop us from using the road. If the president is passing that way, at times the president is not, by the way, in the car. We now know how the president sits. We look for that spot. The man is not there. Why are you stopping us? Let us enjoy that road, the Entebbe Express Road. And you are parking vehicles there. These vehicles would be used for other things. Fuel wastage. You see, Muse is so calm. I don't know why you are fumbling. What is the problem? We want to understand why you are insecure more than the president. You are very insecure. Kindly you let us feel we are Ugandans. And I want to say a word on this thing of international law. Internationally, the so-called people who gave you the international law want to promote and need homosexuality. In Uganda, we said no. I want us to move along that direction. In my culture, we remove teeth as part of beauty. Actually, I'm not beautiful. To have all my teeth on, no. This is bad. So the president says colonialism. There is patriarchy. How you put us so down.
Mr. Chairman, I admire the honorable. I don't know why it is.
Now that you are near president, and it is African to do some of those things. And the security provided by UPDF, I want to say it is thorough. These arrests, we are saying some people are arrested innocently. For me, before UPDF by the comes for you, they must have found something fishy. There were people whom I knew were innocent. But later on, I found they were manufacturing some things similar to bullets. And it's UPDF that can get this information. I want to thank you for being thorough. You are thorough, and I would think those small pockets, you have capacity to close them. Close them, and we move on. This corporal punishment, really, Chair, if you see what I've just sent on our platform, it is annoying. I want you, the culprit is named. I know you are generous, but act like a general. Let's see the general in you. This general who is busy picking people's land, what is this? Busy flogging LCs. Mere cancer? You flog for 8 hours, really? What is it? You tell this general, you are spoiling the name of our good NRM government. Our government is doing everything, but some of you, like this general, me, I want to be particular, because I stopped there. The people are annoyed. They have not been beaten once, not twice. This time it was recorded. I want to see justice for the people of Chiriadongo. It is very bad. Your images are tainted. And I know my brother, General Masiko, will really agree with me that that was terrible. Because he saw the video. And I want to appreciate you for the dismissal of the kangaroo courts. Your courts have improved. You used to do it alone. You said we got orders from above. From who? But at least there is professionalism coming in. I want to appreciate this. One gentleman called Dede, who was one time Brigade 409.
Rose, you will have to withdraw that.
Okay, withdrawn without
kangaroo court. I'm a former prosecutor in.
Yeah, but Chair, I want to say that let's continue to improve the courts. You know that there are loopholes everywhere. Maybe that day you are not the one prosecuting. Yeah, but this is it. And lastly, I want to say that the Karamoja issue, I just came from Karamoja a week ago. We still have a lot of pockets of insecurity. Women are still being raped because we had an interface of a girl around 20 years old was raped, multiple by the raiders, but they say that Tokana still come in. So you need to do a little more, and they say we still have the raiders you would see they are white, they are pale, they are stressed, they didn't know where to go. Women suffer more from these raiders. And also, the UPDF, I want to thank you for keeping the cows of the Karamojongs, but they say these cows rarely produce, meaning something is happening. The raiders are raiding and some people are taking, they said if the cows were with them, if somebody gave 40, by now it should be around 50, 60. But the cows remain 43, 40 something. So they are complaining. This is from Karamojongs. So you try to check those who are keeping the cows, but they appreciate that the cows are at least safe. Thank you.
So you expect the UPDF to do breeding?
Yeah, no, Chair. Chair, I want to say, Chair, what they are saying is that as the cows produce, some are being taken. Like if there are 20 cows, you expect at least in 2 years each one to give a calf. But if in 2 years the 20 cows have only given 3 have given calves, you have a reason to raise eyebrows, and they look like they have produced, but they have remained the cows. And now lastly, URA, I don't know those who are used by URA, I don't know whether they are army or police. I see also some in army clothes. Let's use rubber bullets. Let's use something, but I also don't condone criminal elements where people want to pick stones and throw at an armed person. It is wrong, but if you could hit them hard with rubber bullets, I think they could stop it. Hit the ones, Let's find a mechanism. What happened in West Nile recently, where we have lost several people in the exchange, was so terrible. And lastly, the issue of corporals. Those ones, my grandfather was a soldier. They said those ones who serve porridge are rarely promoted. Most of you are being promoted every day, but the other people, what's happening? And those ones I know are supposed to be promoted by you. Especially when there's no war, when they are now calm, and there's a porridge prepared in Bombo barracks. The ones who have one hand white, I don't know how you call them. And then lastly, the veterans. There are so many veterans who are not compensated. Yeah, that's now the final.
We have another edit.
After the last years, the final last one, compensation. West Nile still has a challenge with compensation. Even my grandfather has not been compensated. So let's see how we can compensate them and finish. Thank you.
I just wanted to know.
Honorable Baka, can the two members who joined us introduce themselves and then you raise your point? Honorable, please introduce yourself. Honorable, your uniform is different from that of your neighbor.
So I shouldn't be so close.
You shouldn't be so close.
I will still create a gap.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Chair, colleagues, and our distinguished army officers and the technical team present. Dr. Samat Abraham, Member of Parliament, Kapiri County, in Ngora District, a member of this committee. Thank you.
Honorable Mugole.
At least, Chair, for me, I'm next to the general who is in civilian. Stephen Mugole is my name. I'm a member of Parliament for Kabwiri County in Kibuku District and a member of this committee.
Yeah.
Yes,
the
Honorable
clarification I was seeking is the Honorable Rose has made mention of the Kiriandongo torture. Now, these generals are very busy. The minister, of course, is extremely busy. I don't know if you have looked at that particular video of torture perpetrated by a general, a senior officer in this government. Have you looked at that video? If you have looked at it, you say yes, because we just want to be sure that you know it. You know about it. Okay, that is okay. Okay. Okay.
Honorable Kudo, 1 minute.
Maybe because I
Then
am
Dr. Isamat, 1 minute, and Mugole, 1 minute.
You know, I am the only opposition in this whatever. So you give me some time. I also have human rights in Uganda, and you should not scare me. Okay? Yes. Okay, thank you, Chair. Chair, I would like to say that yesterday I was in Lamu, and we sat with the district committee in Lamu, and the issue that was raised in Lamu is that the Southern Sudanese people come and kill our people in Lamu. The generals were there, but the manpower which was there is small. Those people come, they stay in the mountain for 3-4 months, trying to rake where to pass, how to get down. So we need to reinforce or take more soldiers there so that our people are not scared. They are really asking us that we need to help them. I even have the write-up from the chairperson LOC5, the memo that was presented, and I will send it to this forum so that we see how to help these people.
And share a copy with the minister.
True, I will. Chair, the other thing I would like to say is, I am happy to hear that we have a professional army. And when we are having a professional army, we need to do things professionally. If somebody says the general can never be touched, it is only the president that will intervene. When somebody is beaten from 8 up to again 8 in the evening, I don't know. They say it is only the president, when somebody said that thing, it is only the president that will say something about that man. And I will ask myself, where are we? Is there no any other disciplinary action that can be given to such a person? It is a concern. This person is now giving us what to talk as opposition, which is not okay. This is spoiling government, and we are all Ugandans, and I love my country, Uganda. The other thing I would like to talk about is the issue of elections my sister talked about, and Dokolo are going to be victims. You wait and get the information. If I may ask that this committee, if we are allowed to get down with the cameras, come that day of elections in Dokolo, you will find bad news about how our brothers are conducting themselves. They don't want to miss elections. They want to say that because we are in a ruling government, everything must be in a ruling government. I don't see any country that does not have opposition. The reason why people are beaten there because maybe UPC is strong, FDC is strong, so they want to bring those parties down. No, let us have free and fair elections. If FDC wins, leave it. If NRM wins, no problem. If UPC wins, why do you need to torture? It is very bad and sad to hear such issues from professional army. It is bad. So the other thing I would like to talk about is the issue of the UPDF who die.
Honorable Chair,
the UPDF who die.
Honorable, with due respect to what you are saying, we had agreed that, by the way, for us, we are not here to defend ourselves.
Yes.
We are here to share with the committee.
Yes.
And in many cases, this your report will help us to get even better.
Yes.
In all ways, including the budget. So if we don't, we don't move with you, then it becomes a big problem. So we had, if you have specific around this, there's no problem. You can even tell us the incident, who did what, because for me, when I see you as a honorable member, I know that you won the elections. So I don't know.
Specifically,
is it the UPDF that helped you to win?
No, they can't help me to win. Instead, they will help me to lose. Yes. In other words, if you allow me to present to you, yes.
What the minister is saying, which is also my guidance on this matter, is let us not speculate, because you're already accusing them of preparing to rig elections in Dokolo.
And even Chair, you are aware it is going to happen.
Let's not make Dokolo part of. You remember what we were talking about yesterday? Evidence-based submissions.
And I will go with my camera there.
Yeah, then you have a discussion after that.
Okay, Chair, the other thing I wanted to say is the cry outside there. When somebody dies, like a soldier dies, you'll find that for you to access the benefits is so hard. Even last month, we buried somebody in a thread. But the family was like, how are we going to do this? Sometimes they try to struggle and they give up. How I feel like maybe if we could try to do what, be flexible a bit and help these widows and the orphans, because it is the orphans who are suffering and the widow. Please, I look into that and maybe try to help us on how to come out of this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Samat, in 1 minute, please.
Chair, I have only one concern.
Okay.
First, I would like to appreciate and thank our UPDF for being a very disciplined army. However, as much as it is provided in the Constitution that people should be free to express themselves, should be free to associate, should be able to participate in whatever, but should not infringe on the rights of others. I have a case in my constituency where is a serving UPDF officer. From the time I joined the parliament, this officer has continuously engaged himself in politics, to the extent that he has affected my performance, if I may say so.
What is his name?
His name is Enyeko Simon Julius. He's a warrant officer.
You get worried about a warrant officer, really, Honorable?
Yeah, he's a human being. Yeah. Yes. So, Chair, and is Enyeko Simon Julius. He's a warrant officer. Yes. So far, I should inform the UPDF team that I've written to the CDF. Yeah, that's Ngora. I've written to the CDF, but the officer has continued. He has agents who are advertising him in each and every place in the constituency. The UPDF Act 2005 is very clear in the Constitution And the Political Organization Act is also very clear. So we're talking about human rights. For now, it is my right to be in the parliament. And it is also his right to serve in the forces. So if he wants to come to be a politician, let him wait for that time when he will resign, and then he will come and participate. Otherwise, that is the only concern I have for now. I thank you so much.
This man does not have a gun.
And Chair, maybe before I really conclude, Chair, we shouldn't actually underrate or undermine any army person. I know what happened in Ngora in 2021.
Okay, the minister has had you.
We almost lost someone there. So this is a serious matter, and it is also very, very interesting that the very, very officer was involved in that attack that was there in 2021. He was with I think another 2 officers. One of them, unfortunately, died in an accident.
Okay.
So we are already seeing signals whereby 2026, if this officer is not tamed, things can easily be bad. I thank you so much for listening.
Now, honorable colleagues, we have the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. In 1 minute, we have the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs in the next 1 minute.
Yes.
So how do we proceed?
Thank you, Chair.
No,
Yes.
I don't know it. I was going to. Kagole, do you have in 1 minute? Yeah. So I will give Kagole 1 minute. Arina Itwe, 1 minute. But Arina Itwe, you made. Okay. Arina Itwe, 1 minute. Kagole, 1 minute. Can't see my. So your hand up. It's okay.
Thank you, Chair. Someone is watching. I think it is being broadcasted on TV. He has actually sent me his consent to present it to this. So he's saying that we have an insecurity of off-roading of lorries and stopping vehicles and robbing occupants in Kaharo, Kabaraga Hill by people who come in vehicles armed on borders, and some hide there overnight. Kindly raise it. I'm watching you on TV. So I wanted.
Okay. Kagole, 1 minute.
This is Mugole, not Kagole. Honorable Minister, mine is a general comment on the way these responses were made. I generally see this as if responses were made as if in the defense, and yet sometimes we needed real answers which are exhaustive, because other answers are really one sentence but not as exhaustive as you would have expected. Secondly, the 14-seater van drone, the response here which says that UPDF is concerned, we use Toyota minibus as passenger vehicles. Our vehicles are clearly identifiable with UPDF number plates. Is there an explanation you can give us where the non-UPDF number drones arrest or apprehend some individuals, and those individuals end up in our cells, either police or whatever, and what has government done to ensure that these non-UPDF vehicles that disguise to do either UPDF or police work, those people are apprehended? And lastly, at what level are we standing in the compensation of those the ex gratia that we had agreed on for those people who retired, who died? How far have we gone in this compensation?
And there was also a sticking issue of the payments to our servicemen in Somalia. What is the status? Honorable Babazi?
Honorable Chair, I have just a small one. I want to first of all thank the UPDF for the work they do for this country. The issue I have is on item 21 on page 9, whereby it's about the budget for payment of compensation awards in line with the decentralization of payment of court and tribunal awards policy. The response is very clear that the ministry has a fully fledged active compensation committee responsible for this. But the issue that the Honourable Minister raised was the budget. And the budget, leaving the budget line aside, does the ministry have the database of these beneficiaries of compensation, who are affected by compensation of these awards? Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Honourable Chair, we do have the list. Of course, the list keeps expanding, as you all know, but we have the list, and that is to do with the decreed compensation, but also other compensation like ex-combatants. We have data. All the data has been worked on, and now we have and what we present and what we are going to present during the ministerial policy statement during our presentation is exactly based on that data, that this is the money we need, but the MTF is only providing for this. So we keep remaining with that gap, and we present it according to that data. So the data is now there. We are fully computerized. I think the problem was the original. Those people, somebody mentioned them. Those who had numbers, they left. Some of them deserted. The president is. We are consulting with him. He has shown an indication that he could take a presidential pardon, and because when you desert, it is illegal. It's already that is illegal, and you are not supposed to be. But we all know the history of our country. Some of these people helped, and they were not ready to go further into the army, but they really brought about the peace we're enjoying. So we are discussing it with the Commander-in-Chief, and we hope he has, in cabinet, he gave his guidance, and now we are discussing it with the Attorney General to see legally how it can be accommodated. Either they get ex gratia or something like that. So it is on the table as I talk now. So those are the ones that have really a big problem, because we keep calling them. We keep, you remember even last year we had the whole big exercise. We involved the judiciary. The Chief Justice gave us all these judicial officers to be at sub-county level, just even to give these people a chance of making, because they have lost papers, they have done all of this, but we gave them even a chance to swear evidence before the judicial officers, so that we get all of this backlog out of the way. So those are the ones where we have problem. But after those who joined the army and they are retiring, the data is very correct. we have no problem. So we are moving on well, and we want to again. We have received these queries since you are short of time. Still, we are going to give answers to them. We are going to write and give answers to them. But nobody is above the law. Whether it's a general who is torturing people, certainly nobody is allowed to torture people in this country. Nobody. So we have to assure the members and the general public that that issue will be investigated, even from here. It's going to be investigated, and we are going to give our answer in writing about that, what steps we have taken. So, Honorable Chair and members, but I want still to, on compensation, Honorable Vice Chair, really the committee in your powers really have to also help us to make sure that we get this money to pay off these people. Really, we feel bad even as managers. Even the commander in chief, we cannot, things, we don't want to show that it's Yame wanting everything, but quietly, somebody who served really should be considered. So the committee can assert itself in this one and help us. So, Honorable Chair, we want to assure Honorable Dokoro. I lived in Dokoro for some time, but I want to assure you, sir, Honorable, that our soldiers, those who are even deployed under the police to do civil work, they know the good, they know the bad. They are trained to know, and they are responsible as individuals if they divert from the normal. So we are going to. That's why the chair, because we also consulted him, that the members should be kind enough to give us. We don't have this solidarity in crime in UPDF. There is no solidarity in crime. If somebody has made his whatever, he knows, he or she knows what is good, what is bad, and he must carry his cross. So, Honorable Chair, members, we will be happy to get specifics, and we will handle them, and we have been handling them. So I want to thank you, and we give these answers in writing when we go back, sir.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Can I request Council to see you out of this building? Yeah. So please see them out of this building. Thank you very much for coming, and please.
Byebyo ebiri mu Paalamenti, abatulugunya abantu baagala ssente endala za kutulugunya. Ababuuza ekibuuzo nti lwaki buli otuuka nga tutuuse mu kiseera ky'akalulu nga musaba ssente mpitirivu ziba zaaki, era lwaki abantu bawambibwa nnyo, babuzibwawo nnyo mu biseera bya kampeyini, mu biseera by'akalulu. Babuuzizzaawo nti wali muntu akkirizibwa kutulugunyizibwa, ne Duloni zonna tebannyonnyola. Bawuzza mbu tujja kuwandiika, tubireete mu buwandiike, tubiweeyo mu buwandiike, naye nga mazima ddala Bannayuganda batulugunyizibwa, Bannayuganda babuzibwawo, Bannayuganda watali musango. Nemubuuza nti nno Bannayuganda bo bazza gwaki abatwalibwa bwe batunga ebyonziira, naye abasajja ebibuuzo babifutyanse bo kye baagala kimu ssente, batongereyo ka supplementary, batongere ssente. Really we need ssente. Tetwagala kugamba mu UPDF yagala ssente buli kimu, naye nga tezibali mu kusaba ssente. Ne weebuuza nti ki kye tulina okukola okutereeza eggwanga lyaffe, naye nga bwe tutyo bwe tuli. kale bye bibaddeyo mu parliament mu birabye ebya UPDF eyagala nsimbi ndala kugula drone ndala n'embooko ze banabasabula mu campaign bwe munaba mutuuse wajja Museveni temunnamuggyako bawo bazinoonya ensimbi atandise ozibudgetingira muzibawe bagenda bagula ebinabasabula embooko Uganda kale mbagala nnyo byebyo tujja kuba tuddamu mpozi batandise okubyekwasako mbu NRM nayo bagitulugunya aba opposition bakasi batulugunya naffe mututulugunya ate bavaawo mbu ate mutulugunya ate temutulugunya ate tubeebaza gamba be contradictinga bo bennyini naye nga amaze gamanyi nti batulugunya abantu batta abantu awatali musango kale mbagala nnyo mwenna Mukama Katonda bankuumire tujja kuba tuddamu mweraba